Continuing now with our coverage of the crisis in Egypt, I'm joined on the phone with CBS News correspondent Mark Strassmann. Mark, what's the latest today?
More people back in the square, Bob. I mean, 2 weeks into this, and there is no sign these folks or their passion for radical, immediate change is going away. I mean, this revolt still demands that Hosni Mubarak step down, not in September, not gradually over the course of a couple of months, but today, or they'll be back tomorrow, and that is unchanged. The other headline here is that there was a missing Google executive, the main Google executive here in Egypt, who had been the creative force behind one of the web pages that had helped us motivate people and organize people here for this revolt, went missing a couple of weeks ago, and he has resurfaced apparently today. I talked to his mother today in her apartment in Cairo. She said if she could, she would wear a sign on her chest that said that she's the mother of a hero, and that is the way a lot of people feel about this guy now, that he is safe, he is sound again, and that is just a huge relief to so many people who had feared the worst when he did disappear 2 weeks ago. And other than that, Bob, you have, behind the scenes, there are still negotiations going on about how among opposition groups and Mubarak's cabinet about how to nudge him off the stage and give this country the fresh start. But so far, it is a bit of a status quo there, and a bit of a standoff too. He's not going anywhere, at least for now, and neither are the crowds. What is
your sense, Mark, of how much the people in the street know about what's going on behind the scenes? How much they know about these talks, and what's their reaction to them?
That's a really interesting question. I mean, 2 weeks ago, any one of these steps would have been seen as monumental and historic, and now they're seen as too piddly to even consider, because the passion has got to the point where they're dug in, and you know what? They're just not in a mood to compromise. And the more time goes on, the more you sense just how wide the divide is between what the people want and what their leaders believe they will be willing to accept. And that divide doesn't narrow as the days go on. That divide only widens. And so far, the response universally to any of these concessions on the part of Mubarak's or his cabinet trying to take the heat off, the response almost unanimously has been not good enough. It's just not good enough, and we're not going until you go.
The role of the Egyptian military, you guys have well documented that. What is their disposition today? I mean, I guess they're still there. Are they being patient? How would you characterize them?
Yep, seem to be very patient, very businesslike, checking IDs. They are also look as though they are here to stay. They have repeatedly said they will not try to clear the square. That has encouraged more people to come out and just help to relax the atmosphere in the square. I was there earlier today, and it was very much a sort of a return to this, a bit of a combination of religious revival and political convention and block party. I mean, people are very relaxed, and they're getting more organized. They're starting to sleep in the square as a sign that they don't believe this is going anywhere anytime soon. And the overall tenor in there really is a whole lot better than it was late last week, when we all remember those horrific bloodied faces and the crazy violence as two opposing street armies faced off in downtown Cairo.
I think many people expected something dramatic would happen last week in terms of what Mubarak would do. Like, people were predicting he may step down, he could go away, he could go to Sharm el-Sheikh. Is it your sense now, though, that we're just kind of into a longer phase of this where both sides are kind of entrenched?
There is a bit of that. I mean, I think the hope on the part of everybody in the square is that there is still a possibility of a dramatic development, that at some point Mubarak will throw up his hands and say that he's had enough. But so far, that hasn't happened, and as the days go on, there does seem to be a bit of a realization that they may be here for a while because they're dealing with a guy who's been in power for 30 years, for the last 30 years. He has liked being in power, and he doesn't apparently like either giving it up or the blow to his pride that would come if just a group of young people in the square, mostly young people in the square, forced him from office. I mean, that would be a huge blow to his pride after all this time of being a dictator. So for now, there is not the drama, or at least if there is drama, it's behind closed doors as these negotiations go on to try to convince him, look, it's time to go.
Okay, our colleague Mark Strassmann reporting from Cairo. Mark, thanks a lot.
You bet, Bob.